Hello friends, welcome to Watercolor Painting in the Afternoon. I'm Beth, and today I thought I would try something a little bit different for myself. I wanted to see if I could come up with a landscape sort of from my imagination. I didn't want to copy a picture. I just wanted to use what I know about landscapes and see if I could draw something out and create something simple that would be appealing. One of the things I noticed about landscapes is that there's almost always a feature item in the landscape. So whether that's an animal, a tree, a barn in my case, a house, anything at all that you want to be that focal point. And then there's usually something sweeping the eye up toward that focal point. Now in this case, I wanted to do the full spread. So I kind of had two different landscapes going on. One on the right with the sun, which I masked out with just some painter's tape, and a pond. And then the other side had the little sweeping road going around a hill toward a barn. It could be a cabin, it could be anything you want it to be. And then I had some woods in the background. And I just kind of tried to do it that way and just see what happened. And I really enjoyed the process. So what I did first here, since this is my Hahnemühle notebook, the paper is not the best for doing skies. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to go with the paper. I'm going to let the paper dictate how the sky looks. And that is what I did. I just went ahead and painted in some ultramarine blue and allowed it to be mottled and certainly not like a flat wash at all. And I think it turned out all right. I was hoping it would turn out to look kind of like clouds, and I suppose it did. But yeah, you'll see what I did with the sky in a little bit. It's kind of a weird... The paper, this is not bad paper. I'm not saying that it's bad paper. It's just not great for that flat wash. It's not a 140 pound at all. It's much thinner than that. And even though it claims to be great for watercolor, it's not great for all of your techniques. So, there's that. But, we'll see. You'll see how it turned out. Here, I have let the sky dry pretty much. And I wanted to make these lighter circles around the sun, sort of like it was radiating out. And when I got through doing that, it did what I wanted it to do, but I wasn't sure I liked the effect. So you'll see in a minute what I did. Instead, because that looked kind of, I don't know, it almost looked cartoony to me. So here I'm taking off the tape. Took me a second too because it really stuck. But once I got it off, it just looked a little cartoony. So I started dragging my brush away from the sun and making these streaks of sun rays, and I thought it worked a whole lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this sky up and just let you watch for a little bit. Oh, and that's my cat, Callie. I just thought you might want to see her. Hi, Callie. Just so I can cut in here a little bit and talk about these grasses in the forefront, really think that a lot of landscape pictures, a lot of photographs and a lot of paintings have some feature in the foreground, like it can be your fence, or it can be grasses, or it can be a field of flowers, whatever you want it to be, but it always creates a little bit of interest to have something right there in the foreground that meets the eye first. And in this case, I wanted to do some grasses. So that's what I included there. And then I started working on the field. Now the field, I just wanted it to be sort of a golden, maybe grasses, or some grasses with some dirt, that kind of thing. You can make this any color you want. You could put flowers in the field. You could make it a field of poppies or a field of buttercups or whatever you wanted. You could make it wheat or some other crop. And I wanted to keep this very simple because I didn't want to spend forever and ever on it. I just wanted to see if the composition would work. And so I'll let you watch here. I'm going to do the barn at this point. This is the roof of the barn. If anything, I wish I had spent maybe just a little more time on the barn. Not that it turned out terrible or anything. I just think it could have turned out better. But I kind of tucked it behind the hill, which is fine. That works. I think I wish I had put a little bit more shadowing on it and, just a little bit more detail. But anyway, it turned out all right. Oh, and I missed a little bit of, I missed a little bit of filming right there. I put some mountains in on the right side because it just looked a little bit bare. And finally here, what I'm doing is just putting in the barbed wire, I guess is what you'd say, along the fence, and just doing a few little details that needed to be done, making sure that it looks like there's actually something, to fence in there. And I think that this was relatively close to the last thing I did. I did put some more shadows in, and some branches here in the trees. One thing you could do is you could put an animal in the field. I was thinking like a cow or a horse or some sheep or pigs even. It might be really nice. So you could do any kind of thing like that in the field and have that. I don't know if that would become your focal point though. It might. So you want to be a little bit careful about how busy you make your landscape. I think I'm glad that I just left it, not quite as busy. Now, what I was pointing at there was a little watermark that the paint made on the sky, and I decided to put a tree there to cover it up, and I think it turned out pretty well. It's a pine tree, and I just wanted to put that tucked in behind the barn and cover up that watermark. I don't know why it did that. I think it must have puddled a little bit right there. When you're making a pine tree, think about the little branches actually reaching upward. I think sometimes we think about pine trees, the needles sort of point downward, but the branches reach upward. So you kind of have to think about that while you're making a pine tree. That is something I learned not too long ago. I was watching a different tutorial. I wish I could remember who taught me that, because I would tell you. Oh, Steve Mitchell. That's who taught me that. He is a fellow South Carolinian. He's so good. If you have not checked out The Mind of Watercolor, because that's his channel, it's really good, and he's kind of funny and kind of silly, but he's wonderful. And yeah, he taught me how to do pine trees, and I think I did a pretty good plein air grouping of pine trees, which is just kind of outside my home, and really enjoyed it. And it turned out so well that I ended up framing it, and that is thanks to Steve Mitchell. So thank you, Steve. And here I'm about to finish up. I hope you have enjoyed watching today. I hope that you will give composition a try. Take a look at lots and lots of different landscapes and see if you can do one too. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll like and subscribe.